Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming. My name's Bill. I'm from Lenze, UK. If you've got any questions, we'd like to keep it moving here. So if you wouldn't mind coming back to the stand 1:30 and asking questions at the end. I'm going to do a whistle-stop tour of some energy-saving tips for industry. And first of all, I've got a question for you. Hands up, who wants to save baby seals with big eyes? Anyone? Yeah, because that's the right answer, isn't it? And I think energy saving is sometimes about the right answer. Everybody says they want to do energy saving, like the baby seals, but do they really want to? And there's going to be different people here. Some of you are part of a company with a managed process. So you've got compliance reporting, you've maybe got government initiatives. So you have energy reduction built into what you do, but others of you got more of a choice. So you can choose to do energy saving, or you can do some other cost saving, or you might just be toppers with stuff to do in your daily work anyway. So it's got to be worth it. Now, I read on the internet, so it must be true, that 90% of companies now are building in energy saving as part of their purchasing strategy. So it must be really significant. They must really think it's worth it to be doing that. We have a customer, we have more than one customer, the E10 group, the E80 group, who make integrated logistics for warehouses. And they've used our technology to recover up to 30% energy. But the point about that is, it's not for them, it's for their customers. So that's what sets them apart from their competition. They've taken the idea of energy saving, but turned it into their own business model. But for some people, it's still got to be easy. Otherwise, they're not going to do it. So what are some of the things you can do? Well, one thing that you might not have seen that I think is quite interesting is this report. It's the Energy Consumption in the UK report. It's just come out. And it deals with a number of different sectors and the trends in energy consumption. So, for instance, it'll answer the question, what happened to energy in transport during COVID? And did it pick up again or not? And why? And I think that's really good because it gives you a context for your own business. And it also talks about things like MTOE and energy intensity, which you might not know what that is. And it gives you a really good set of terminology to help you think about what you're going to do in your business. So it gives a kind of context to your situation. By the way, these links, we got QR codes for them on our stand, so please come over and get those. So one of my favorite things is a list. You can start with a list of what you're going to do with energy saving. And one thing you could do is use the Energy Audit Standard, 16247, which is effectively a predefined list that you can use, so saves you writing it yourself. But if you've not already got these kind of energy managed systems in your business, you could do worse than looking at that SME guide to energy efficiency from the Department of Energy and Climate Control. It's quite good. I mean, it does start off with things like, don't forget to turn the lights off. But it does then go into more detail. It's got more useful resources. It covers production. So it's quite a cool thing that it's already written and it's from a reliable source. So I have another question for you. What proportion of industry electricity do you think is used by motors? I mean, obviously it's going to depend, but as a rough guess, 2/3. 2/3 of industrial electricity is used by motors. So if you're going to save energy, start with motors. And Lenze can offer efficient motors. There's a standard, there's a rating, the IE rating, and the higher the number, the better. So you should be looking for IE4, IE5. And that's essentially just a design and better materials to help you save energy and reduce your losses. But the key thing is pairing that with an intelligent drive that will get the best out of your motor. And in our estimation, if you think of the total saving that's available in that system, just swapping the motor is around 10%. Adding a drive that controls that gives you another 30%. 40%. And then there's 60% of optimizing the process in the first place. So hence my point there, you can use efficient technology, but which thing where and what is the priority, that's when knowledgeable people come in. So you should take care to make sure you and all your suppliers are knowledgeable in their specialist subject, because just one useful tip can save you so much. And we are finding that with our customers. Now, decentralized is becoming a real trend. It used to be that everyone puts everything in one cabinet. It made sense. You can fault find, you can connect everything. It's all there and manage the access. But the problem is now everyone wants to put everything in the same cabinet. So it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That means you have all the heat to control. So then you have to add more fans, and that uses energy. You have to manage the electricity. You have lots of breakers. So why not put that more local to where you need it? So rather than having a drive in a cabinet, you put it near the motor. Is that the right way round? I'm getting people staring. It's all right. Is it because I'm interesting? So what that does is have a knock-on effect that the distance between the motor and the drive is shorter, and that reduces the cabling, and that's one of the most expensive parts. But in addition, you get savings through power loss. You don't get so much power loss. Now, Lenze produces decentralized drive called the ProTech because it's protected, so it's an IP-rated one, and a Motec because it goes on a motor. And one of the benefits of that is it allows regenerative braking. And I don't know if you all know, but a motor can turn into a generator if you use it in a slightly different context. So, for instance, a crane hoist, if you raise it up, that's a motor. If you let it go, it's a generator. And you have to do something with that energy. Typically, people use what I think of as the industrial equivalent of an appendix. You know, it's a braking resistor. You buy it, you fit it, but it doesn't do anything. It just basically wastes your money because it's dealing with waste energy. If you put something like the Motec on, you can use regenerative braking. That not only saves you energy, but it saves all that. You just don't need it. So it's a combination of energy saving and not spending that money up front in the first place. So optimize, it's all in the mind. It's not really in the mind, it's in the drives and the motors. But what I mean is, you can think of different levels of optimization. You can optimize a machine. So for instance, we have a customer that used a particular function, a 300% overload, torque overload, to get them to their running operation, but whilst they only needed to specify for the running operation. So they didn't need to specify for that overload, they just specified for the running, which cost them less initially and less running costs. So that bit of knowledge, and using that particular function, saved them on a machine. But if you take it to a system level, what if you have, like one of our customers, hundreds of small AC drives, and you make one tiny tweak? Just on the run speed, you can make savings times hundreds, and that's a system-wide optimization. And we've already heard what a business-wide optimization is. Things like making your purchasing strategy include energy reduction. So you can gradually attack different parts of your organization, of your systems, and make energy savings in individual parts, and then gradually go up. You can't control what you can't measure. Obviously, I'm talking about data. People are starting to realize it's not an all-you-can-eat buffet. You know, you don't want every bit of data because you don't know what to do with it. But you do need to get it, and you don't necessarily know what you want until you want it. We think more and more devices are becoming not so much intelligent, but connectable to intelligence. So hence, we have a Drives Data Hub. It essentially enables an IoT link to the cloud. And with that, you can have more live data. You can have condition monitoring, energy consumption. And that's another example of where you can optimize, because you can include that in your business-wide policy. If I buy this thing, what does it give me in terms of data? because I will need that. I asked the Lenze UK applications manager, what's the top thing people should do for energy reduction? And he said intelligent drive sizing. So if it's under-spec'd, well, it's not going to do what you need. If it's over-spec'd, then you're spending money for nothing. Maybe spending your customers' money for nothing. And if you repeat that, you're building in this unnecessary contingency. I mean, everyone wants a bit, but how much is too much? What you need is an accurate view of your expected operation, so you can be energy aware by design. So one thing that we offer, and hopefully every respectable manufacturer does, is a way of training and educating yourself. We've got lots of training modules you can just access off the web. But in addition to that, we have tools that help you design product really simply and get to the answer that you need quickly and comfortably. So for instance, M&N curves, you can put a motor up, see what that does, put a drive next to it, see how they're going to work together. You can do side-by-side comparisons with different products. You can predict the energy use. You can then turn that into a document and work out what it is that you need. Those are the sorts of things that will help you jump really quickly to saving energy and getting a cost benefit. So we know motors and drives are a huge part of the energy saving. Remember the 70%? If you're not already doing that, then you could. But even if you are, there are lots of ways of optimizing that process and continually improving. And although efficient technology is really important, knowing where to apply that is fundamental. You can train yourself, which is really important, but you're never going to be able to do everything. So that's where your support network comes in. So whatever stage you're at, whoever you're using, hopefully it's Lenze, but even if it's not, why not expand your support network to include us? We'd be very happy to talk to you on Stand 130. Once you've done all that, you can look to the future. Now, this is quite interesting. Between 2016 and 23, there was a key group of people from BMW, Audi, Rittel, KUKA, Lenze, lots of people, wondered about the possibility of using a DC grid throughout the entire site for industry. So obviously, you still have your main generation, but once it gets to site, make it all DC. And suddenly, if you flip that round, you get all sorts of benefits. So obviously, energy regeneration, DC works really well. Energy storage, DC works really well. Think about inverter drives. What's the first thing every drive does? Turns the AC into DC. Well, if you don't need to do that, you reduce your drive down by 40%, reduce your costs. And you start to get many benefits. So 50% reduction in copper cabling, for instance, 50% power loss, reduction in power loss. And if you've got that regeneration capacity, then it's estimated, and they actually observed this in example sites, that you can get up to 80% less demand on the main supplier at peak times. So not only do you become more resilient, but you are the supplier's best friend. So get your basic energy saving sorted and then start to look to the future. So energy reduction in industry, it starts with motors and drives. Use efficient technology, train yourself and your team, look to the trends like decentralization and the future like DC grids, but above all, talk to the experts. So it's nearly 1:30. We're on Stand 130. Come and talk to us. Thank you very much.